Hey there, fellows. So check this out. Right here I've got a gearbox for a rear drive lot that has been dismantled. The reason it's dismantled is because the synchronizers failed. Gears are popping out, which is quite unpleasant. And so we've torn it apart to have a look, and the synchros have seen better days. But then it wasn't a new car, so... Anyway, the idea for this episode is to try a DIY dogbox conversion to get the shifting action on point. We have a plan, so let's make it a reality. Let's go. But let's not be too hasty. I suggest we talk about where those unpleasant noises originate that a gearbox can make when the synchronizers aren't working properly. I meant to say when they aren't doing anything. We've got a good view because we've cut out a piece of this gearbox. Now let's simulate some load. I'll hold this with my hand. Meanwhile, Sergey will give the input shaft a spin, and I'll try to grab a gear. Let's go. I am able to get it in, but you are hearing the noise it's making. As for what's happening, the synchronizer is worn out, and it's not able to reach the hub sleeve, meaning it's free to spin around. And the synchronizer is there to make it so the speed at which the gear is spinning matches that of the hub sleeve. Once that happens, the sleeve can easily interlock with the actual gear. On both of those parts, you have a spline connection with a bunch of small teeth. And when they're spinning at different speeds, they have trouble locking. And that is when we hear that grinding noise. While the splines are slipping instead of interlocking with each other, while making that nasty sound. So look guys, here's what we need to do. This right here is the hub sleeve. The inner part of it is constantly locked to the shaft. And during a gear shift, it transfers the torque via the synchronizer to the actual gear. And when the synchronizer wears down, this gets in the gear's way because of the speed differential. As a result, we hear that, which tells us that the synchros have been worn out. But a certain thought has occurred to us. Let's try replicating something that is akin to a motorcycle setup. We throw the synchronizers away entirely. Right here we'll be running a shim, which might have some protrusions. And on this side of the sleeve, we need to cut out some catchers. The gear is going to have a cam on it, while this is going to have some sort of slots for it. And that would in theory mean that the gears would engage even without the synchronizers. We do know that this sort of setup works on motorcycles. Why wouldn't it work in a car? We'll now try to minimize the effort required to get this to work, simply and cheaply. I can't imagine what this will look like, but we'll figure it out soon enough. Let's do this. The entire point of what we're doing here boils down to the stock gearbox having synchros, and there being a bunch of teeth that ensure engagement. But at higher RPM, there can't be any engagement if you don't press the clutch. But in racing, they use dog clutches, with big tabs that allow for upshifting or downshifting under load and without using the clutch. This in turn means quicker shifts, without disrupting the flow of power and torque to the wheels. Check out what we've done here. Here's the gear, which had fine teeth on it, but those have been removed. We've made these sort of locks out of sheet metal. We have cut out 4 of them. This is the hub sleeve. We've cut out these slots. And this bit right here we might want to secure using a welder, if we want it to spin around together with the gear. And so here's where we're currently at. The gear and the dog clutch will now be able to interlock the way you see here. The fork pushes the dog clutch, Everything locks into place and we have engagement. Let's carry on. We've encountered an issue when we attempted to fit the shafts to the gearbox. You slip one of these shafts through here, the other one as well, but this one has got the bit with the tabs which are not allowing us to slip it in. And so we've decided to slip it in from outside, but over here we've made some small incisions. Check this out, guys. We've got everything assembled, it's all good. As we can clearly see, all of the gears are going in. They of course do so when bits are rotating inside the gearbox, referring to the gear and the dog clutch. But when nothing is moving, I mean, there is the off chance that the slots and the tabs will be aligned, but the general rule is that there won't be any engagement when nothing is moving around. But with the shafts rotating, the gears go in, and quite nicely at that. We really hope this is going to work. So let's finalize the assembly, fit the gearbox to a car, and get to the testing phase. Let's go. Here goes nothing. Hopefully it works great, though it might not, but let's see. Okay then. For starters, we should see if it goes into gear at all. This is interesting stuff. The throws have become really short. The slightest movement of the stick and it goes into gear. Might want to trim it down. Nah, I'm kidding. Now it's just a matter of getting used to the gear shift action. Let's see now. There we are, good to go. Getting into gear while stationary requires, well, you need to press the clutch in and go for the gear right away, while the gears are still whirring. And let's go. All I had to do was give the shifter a nudge, and without any grinding, the gear just went in. So that was first gear, let's check. Yeah, second went in very confidently, which is good. Now let me try grabbing third. Easily went in. It went in with utter ease. That felt really nice. In my head I was expecting issues, but there aren't any. Good stuff, but that's third gear. So far I've only been upshifting, of course the gears are going to be good. But what if I try going for second? Good on that one, let me try first now. Easy. Now, from what I'm feeling, it would seem as if the gearbox is communicating with me better. You have a really great feel for when the gear goes in, which is to say you can tell whether it engaged or not. Okay, well, it would seem that it's all good. You press the clutch and it doesn't matter which way you're going. Whether you're upshifting or downshifting, the gear shift action is lovely. But what if we try shifting without using the clutch? It should actually work with this sort of gearbox. Right now it's in first, let me go for second. There we are. Now we'll try... Third also went in. You do have to ease off the throttle slightly though. And there's fourth. That was not a pleasant noise to hear. But then we weren't going too fast. So it is what it is. Let me try that again. Now I go from third to second, and it goes in with no trouble at all. Second to first without pushing in the clutch, there. It is in. This is terrific, goes in super easily. Everything is on point. Here's something interesting we want to share with you guys. Here we have the box that we attempted to convert to a dog box, and we are amazed by the results. I mean, this works great. There's no other way to put it. Crisp engagement, no clutch pedal. Also, the action is smooth. None of those noises that you'd hear from a regular manual gearbox with worn synchronizers. But we've cut this one open and are curious to look inside to see why this box works as well as it does. So look, give it a spin. It did just make a noise, but engagement was on point. This thing is so precise, man. I am really enjoying this. I mean... You see that? Oh wow, that is hot. Everything is interlocking. It works almost perfectly. It's really smooth, and that's always a good thing. Dogbox on the left, conventional manual on the right. So this layout has proven itself to be very good indeed. There is no need to use the clutch. Quick shifts, those are some serious benefits. As for how reliable this sort of box would be, well, we used components from the parts bin. When done properly, this should work superbly. Of course, there are off-the-shelf solutions, but those cost a small fortune. But our gearbox is custom. Feel free to try this out. Consider subbing. That's it for this video. Catch you guys later.